I want to show you something before we start. This is a contact page, right? And AI made it. Look at it properly. It is clean, the type works, right? It has character. Nothing about it is broken. So let me ask you a different question. It is good? Take a second with that because I do not think you can answer it. And right now, neither can I. Not because the page is bad, because neither of us knows what this page was supposed to do, right? Who is it for? What that person needs? What it has to make them do, right? We can see that it was well made. For a beginner to do this years ago would be very difficult, but now you can do it with one prompt. But we cannot see whether any of it is right. Okay, hold on to that because we are coming back to it. In Module 1, we change how you see yourself, your role, your beliefs, the traps that stop you, the person you are becoming. This module changes something else, right? What the work is worth, what has become common, what has become valuable, and where that value actually sits because it moved. And a lot of designers have not noticed yet. And what is happening right now to web design already happened to another field, photography. And you already have met the company at the center of it. In the previous module, I told you about Kodak, right? How they invented the first digital camera, then stay attached to film until it was too late. In 1888, Kodak sold a camera to ordinary people with one promise. You press the button, we do the rest. Before that, taking a photograph was hard, right? You had to understand the chemicals, the light, the perfect timing. Kodak removed it. And it kept going, right? Cameras got smaller and cheaper than digital, than the phone in your pocket, which handles, almost everything. You just have to press a button. So since almost anyone can now, take photos, did photography as a profession die? No, but making a clear photograph became easy. Knowing what was worth photographing did not. And that is what AI is doing to us right now, right? Think of our field as a building, right? The floor is the level of quality almost anyone can reach. The ceiling is the best that is possible. And AI is lifting the floor. Layouts, words, images, pages that work on every screen, working code. Someone with very little experience can now make something decent in an afternoon. Remember the study I mentioned in the first module, Harvard with the Boston Consulting Group? The same study found something else. On the tasks AI handled well, everyone got better. But the people who started in the bottom half improved about 3 times as much as the people at the top. So the people who began further behind gained the most, right? So if you are a beginner, this is good news because now you can turn an idea into something real much sooner than before. But when more people can make something decent, something happens. The middle gets crowded. Look at this work. It's not bad. I made this with one prompt. That is the point. It is clear, it works, it looks professional, right? Being competent now is the starting point, not the destination. The field is now easier to enter and harder to stand out in. But that is only half of it because the ceiling raises too. The same tools that help a beginner start let someone with stronger ideas go much further. More directions, more ambitious ideas, bigger systems, right? Also, work that used to need much more time, money, or a bigger team. AI did not only help people make decent work; it helped take strong ideas to the next level. In the previous module, I talked about the Van Gogh and the Japanese prints, right? How he took a principle from them and made something his own, right? That is easy to accept because obviously he's Van Gogh. Same thing if I talk about Picasso, right? It is harder to believe it is how work actually happens on a real project with a real client and a real deadline. So let me show you a real project I worked on recently. This is a project that I built for a real client. And this is where the real difference shows up. And not between AI and human, right? Because AI helped me build both pages, the one that I showed you before and this one. But this one was not just one prompt, it was a lot of work. That project was for the Paper Club, a streetwear brand. And this was the brief. That's it. It looks strange because it's very short, but they basically gave me full creative freedom as long as I focus on this. So basically, no Benjamin Franklin, no hologram. That was it. So the most important focus was money for traders, right? And who is money? Whose face do you already see when you think about it? If you're American, obviously, it's Benjamin Franklin. He's the face of the $100 bill. So he became the advisor of the brand, right? That was the idea. And that gave me a problem, but also an advantage because Benjamin Franklin has been dead for over 200 years now, right? So how do you put a dead man in a room with a visitor and have it feel like it's real? So in my head, it was like not a painting, not not a cartoon, not a ghost, a hologram. Because a hologram is the one version that we actually accept as possible, right? I could have used a a ghost or something like that, but it's a little bit spooky. And also, a hologram connects more with traders, right? Like traders use technology, so a hologram is made with technology. So in my mind, it made sense. And now I will show you basically where this hologram idea came from. Naruto. I remember in the series when the Akatsuki members had a meeting or something, they appeared through energy and light. And I did not want the page to look like anime, right? Like an anime scene. And I wanted that feeling, powerful but not completely physical. Now you will notice some electricity glitches, and this came also from Naruto, and also the transparency and even the movement. That's basically what real inspiration looks like, right? You would never know that all these ideas came from Naruto, right? Unless I told you. Because the final design doesn't look like Naruto. And it should not. So, three moves, right? The main concept, money to Franklin, Franklin to a hologram to an anime about ninjas. Now, here's what I did with the machine with AI. I gave it the same brief, right? And I gave it my first move. The AI did not find the Benjamin Franklin idea. I had to give it. This is the prompt. So this is Claude, and here on the left side, we can see the prompt, right? The exact prompt, one prompt. And then here on the right side, we can see the design. It turned the contact form into a banknote. You answer 5 questions, your words get engraved onto the note as you type, and then you signed it. As you can see here, it even made a joke about the problem, right? That is good. And I want to be real with this, right? Like this website would be very difficult or almost impossible for a beginner to create something like this a few years ago. Now they can create this with one prompt. But look at where that idea came from, right? I gave AI Benjamin Franklin, and Benjamin Franklin is on the $100 bill, so it made a banknote. That is the obvious idea. The reference was sitting right there in the brief, right? Connected to money, basically. Nothing connects Benjamin Franklin to a ninja anime. But everything about Benjamin Franklin and the things that we know about Benjamin Franklin connects him to a banknote because, as I said before, he's the face of the $100 bill. So it makes sense. It makes total sense. But the Naruto reference makes no sense. And that's the point. The machine took the close reference, right? I had to take the far one. Because when you think about Benjamin Franklin, there is no way you are thinking about Naruto. And it was not only Naruto, right? There were other references in this project from places just as far away. That is basically creative direction. I use AI to help me build this, right? The model, the animation, the code, but that is not what made the project different. The difference was not about the tools, right? The difference was that someone, in this case me, went looking somewhere, the machine had no reason to look. I will make a full video about how this project was built and put it on my channel. Depending on when you are watching this video, the video is probably there, right? So check it out. Now, I want to be clear about one thing, okay? So this design, the Benjamin Franklin hologram and all this stuff, was right for this project. For a different project, maybe a plain form wins. So the hologram or the effects is not the lesson here. Basically, deciding what the page was for and pointing every decision at that is the lesson. And that is where the value moved. Knowing what should be made is still rare, right? Seeing something that is wrong, even when it looks good, is still rare. So here's what that means for what you get paid. When production was harder, right, before AI, production alone was worth more. Now that almost anyone can make something look professional, that alone is worth less, and the clients will pay less for it. If you want to charge premium right now in this era, you have to basically, develop your taste and judgment. Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, put it like this: when anyone can make anything, the thing that separates you is what you choose to make. That is the game right now. It's not only about production, it's about taste, judgment, and obviously production. But production alone is not enough. So here's the shift. Now almost anyone can make something decent, right? So decent is not enough. It's not enough for you to stand out. But now you can take strong ideas to the next level. Your advantage is no longer just making the design, right? What really matters is who is it for, why should it exist, and whether it actually works. That is the perceptual flip. In Module 3, we look at the machine itself, what it actually is, what it can do, what it cannot, and how to direct it properly instead of guessing at prompts and hoping something works. Because you cannot direct something you do not understand. If you are following along, the complete course roadmap is linked below. And if you want to go through this with other designers, ask questions, and stay connected to the course, you can join the Web Designers Collective. It is a free community for designers following the course. And I'm always there. Go to webdesignerscollective.com/join. It's free. I will see you in Module 3.